I posted on my Instagram story that I wanted to review your guys' videos and rank them. I had a bunch of people pick the reviews, and I picked 13 of them to go over in this video specifically, which I'll be ranking from S tier to F tier. If you want to submit your videos, click the link down below, and you can submit your videos for me to review on the channel. Let's get right into this video. So for the first video here, we have Eagle on Fire. Let's watch it first, and then we'll go through it. There's a lot of things that I think you can improve on to make this even better. So one of the first things I noticed is the actual 3D tracking in here. The one thing that I'm pretty picky about is actually the tracking and the placement of the 3D. So you'll see here on the bottom one specifically how it looks like it's going through the floor. If this floor wasn't here, it'd basically be under the floor in 3D space. So that's one thing I'm pretty picky about. So I'll show you what I mean by this if I open up After Effects. So let me just open up After Effects here and show you an example. If I go into this pre-comp here, and you see we'll mess with the particles right here of trap code form, and you see how they're floating in space up here, where I have them on the top and not so much on the bottom. When you scroll through it, they all look like they're in place. Like they're not seaming through the wall, they're not seaming through the car. If I bring this down and I move the space of 3D, you can see that these ones down here look like they should be under the floor, if that makes sense. So try to avoid that as much as you can, just because it's a little detail that can help make your 3D feel more full of life. So if we slow this video down, let's go through it now. So you had a swipe transition right here. If I go to it slowly, you had a swipe transition right around here. It was either a tracking mess up or you tried to do some type of slide into the next clip. So if the first clip is sliding, the next clip needs to slide as well. So like right here, for example, we're doing a pan left. So if I just pull up a pan left, such as this one, let me show you what it looks like with and without the follow through. So I'll just apply my pan left preset real quick. So here's with the applied. You can see it's panning to the left and then it follows through on the next clip. So if you didn't have the follow through, if I hide this layer, you'll see how it looks a little off. See, it'll slide and it's just basic. So when you have that full transition in here, it ties in the full effect of that slide transition. If you make those changes, you can definitely get bumped up a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and put you into C tier for now. Now let's move on to the next video from Visuals of Rohan. Let's see this video. Video was dope. Definitely, I could see the inspiration from CSGO. Lots of cool animations, motion graphics, and overall execution of this video. The flow was on point. I think this scene's one of my favorites. I just like how this comes in like this. That was my favorite scene. I wish that was longer, but I get it. It matches the flow. This intro was cool. Nice little 3D effect. You got a little creative with it. Effects overloaded. Car edit incoming. You click on the middle. Cool. You swipe down. I like how you had consistent backgrounds of CSGO. I'm assuming you just masked the car out and left the foreground and just blended it in. That looks good. I like the shadows here on the text. I like the animation. That's cool. Good masking on the wheel. Good transition. As I said, this is my favorite part right here. I love the typography. It looks really good. All the little details of the guns, the background. This sequence right here was flawless. I love the execution of this. The change of flow, the change of direction really added a lot to this video. And one thing I want to point out for editors watching this that want to learn some stuff, shadows make a big difference. So you see how we had shadows in here? I would soften it just a little bit more to blend the gradient of this shadow here. And a nice little trick I like to do when it comes to shadows and composing your 3D elements. Let me just set this up properly really quick. So see how I have the text in here now? Now that it's here, the only thing it's missing to really blend it in is the actual shadow. So if I go in here, I can do drop shadow. So you can either do drop shadow or you can duplicate your layer and add a gradient ramp to it. And let me turn off the light real quick. So this is without the spotlight. So you can see here, I can kind of blend in the trueness of the shadow with a gradient ramp. So it gives it some type of depth. And then what I would do after that is add on some Gaussian blur. increase that blur, soften it up, and decrease the opacity just a little bit. And now you have a matching shadow. So you can now see that the shadow matches the text and the scene just a little bit better, and it adds that depth. Of course, in this case, it takes a little more work because I did have a spotlight, so it came out a little differently, but shadows can really help blend your scene together. Another cool detail you can always add in is mask out the windows as well. If you mask out the window and have it fill for the background, just mess with the opacity and the fill, and then you can get it to really blend in with the scene. But overall, the execution and the time it probably took to make this video, great work. I would put this in S tier. Next we have Cherry. I've seen this video before. I believe he posted this a couple years ago, maybe 3 now, 2 or 3 years ago. Let's watch this video.
This shit that they don't know about. That ice rain renegade, it is cold out. I run with my frenemies, we had a blowout. Rusty knife in my bag, so I know now. Don't try me unless you like pain. Sword on me, make your life change. Snushing on me, walking through the ice rain. Scope on me just in case it's high rain.
Awesome video, lots of good 3D elements in here. One thing I want to notice that I didn't pick up a couple years ago when I saw this is the actual sky with the skull. I love that, I think that was great. The tombstones are cool. I would do a little bit less of them and add some depth of field, depending what plugins or how you're doing it. I use Element 3D, so like you can set the camera comp to actually mimic the true depth of field. So for example, if we go in here to the camera, if you go down to camera options, you have depth of field, you can see I have it on, and I have it keyframed. So that'll actually affect your 3D objects. So if you see here on the actual particles, some of them are blurred in the background and some aren't. So if I change the blur level, you'll see here the background particles get blurred, but the front particles don't. See how you can change the focus distance here? So you can actually make it feel true 3D. That adds a lot of detail. If you have the capability to spend the extra time to do so, that will add a lot to the actual tombstone effect you did in here. Same with this, you know, subtle. You don't need too much just because the background's not that blurry, so it wouldn't blend. But the coins, I like the themes that you did. Another thing that I liked a lot was the actual crates. The showing that this one was in front adds a lot of depth. It makes it feel like you're more in the scene. So good job on that. This is one of my favorite parts. You know, previous me, a couple years ago, like when this came out, I probably would be thinking a little different, but I don't like adding in effects that don't make sense. So the gates, I'm not sure if it's referring to something, but the gates in a wall just didn't make sense to me, didn't blend as well into the composition. But other than that, the consistency and the amount of 3D work, the loop, was really good. I like this video. Good job. I'd love to see you make one in today, because 2 years ago, a lot has changed. So I'd put that video into B tier, and let's move on to the next one. Next we have Rishith. Hopefully I said that right. I have some good tips right off the bat that I can help you with. So good job on the styling and effects. I see you enjoyed doing the effects. You focused on that. Is the particles. Once again, I'm not sure if this is an overlay or if it's a plugin, but if it is a plugin or it is an overlay, just work on getting it to fit in the scene more and not be through the floor. So it feels like you're more immersed into the video. Another thing too is right here, you kind of lost the flow of your video. So if you go through here, if I slow this down, you'll see you're going left to right, and then you go from left to right, but it's coming out. Although that does work, it just feels a little off in this type of video. And then good, see how you transition here, since the flow of the camera angles is changing. You did an overlay to transition it. That works. See, like right here, when you go from left to right, and then it goes right to left, it's okay because you put some hits in there, but having flow in the overall composition adds a lot. So the more you can blend in the shot-to-shot sequence, you'll see this clip goes from left to right. I actually did a flip effect, so it flips and then it goes left to right. If not, it would be right to left. And then this clip, left to right, and then I have a reverse, right to left the next clip, left to right, and so on and so forth. But keeping that flow is very important on having a lot of rhythm and flow to your video. It's very important. I would also like to hear some more sound effects in there. That would be good. I'm going to go ahead and put you into C tier, but overall I like the concepts if you work on the flow and make it. Next we have a horizontal video from David, Clean XE Films. Overall, I love this video so much. The scenery itself makes this already an A tier, just because, I mean, you don't get to see this often. I think the editing and the styling is really good of it. The quality is awesome. Great camera work on this. Some cool angles that you could add in here would be like GoPros. Like, you see how they all have suctions on them? I understand you may not be able to do that all the time, but just at least a couple shots of that would be dope. The people aspect, this is dope. This is like, in my mind, this is like the perfect client video. If a client were to pay you for something, you want to see the people, you want to see the feeling of being there, as well as the action. This shot was awesome. Great work on this. The speed ramps were dope. These shots are cool. This is probably my highlight. This would be the thumbnail right here. If I had to thumbnail this video, it would be this. Cool. Other than that, I don't really have much input. I think you executed perfectly. Did you use any upscaling? Because I can kind of see how soft some of the people are. As well as the car. For an edit like this, honestly, I would even do the opposite. I would leave it natural, add some film grain to it, maybe a little bit of halation, just a little bit to get that mood in. But this is overall very entertaining video. And I think at the end of the day, it's entertaining, and on paper, it was executed perfectly. I don't see how you would make this any better besides different shots, because the action really helps bring this together. I think the sound effects were dope. The intro was awesome. Perfect video. The only thing, I would put this in A tier. The only thing you would add into there is just a couple more different shots. And honestly, bring out the cinematic tones of it, more of the color grading. That would just make it a little bit better to where it's flawless. Other than that, the editing, the execution was perfect. Next we had Ahmed does VFX. Cool, good video. Your intro started off really strong. I loved it. The grading and the vibe of this first shot looks really good. Maybe just adjust the coloring to make it blend more. Maybe use oranges. Oranges and blues probably would look a little better than the yellow and red, complementary colors specifically. One part I do want to point out specifically where you kind of lost me was right around here. This is all cool. Good job on this. I know this takes a lot of time. Just fix the angling a little bit, and you can see a little bit of distortion. That's okay. You can add like optics to it, optics compensation to blend that out. This part's where you lost me right here. So the flow and the rhythm of the video gets lost right around here. It's too flat. There's no more pan and cropping. So if I slow this down, you'll see right here, we go from all this pan and cropping and movement and animation to just a flat scene that just speed ramps out into this. You kind of lose the audience right here. And I think the clips too are different. The grading is totally different. If you can keep the grading and the vibe that we had in the first one would be perfect. Because it almost feels like a different video at this point. But yeah, the overall concept of the video, if you're going to do this motion graphic, high pan and cropping, high motions, lots of positioning and scaling, then you definitely need to have it more consistent. It's a lot harder to do, but you have to have it consistent throughout the video, as well as the styling and the coloring. You see how the scene changes here? Like, there's not too much blending to where this feels more composed. It needs to blend a little bit better with the coloring. This shot was good. Even the reds, I would dial in, change a little bit. The saber effect, it's cool. Just an edit. I think this clip, definitely this transition of the flow could have been a little bit better. Other than that, I think you're on the right track. You have it there. Just keep the momentum up. I know it gets hard once you do such a good intro and then you have to keep it up. It gets hard after that, but that's how you make great content. I'm going to go ahead and put you into C tier as well. If you can fix that flow, fix the color grading, just blend a little bit better in the composing. For me specifically, as I said, I like to make sure it's realistic or as proper in scene as possible. Next, we have Shot by Chris. Oh, Chris, that was a great video. Some things I want to point out right off the bat is, I'm sure you know already, I already understand how it is, especially where you're shooting. Here in California, the lighting is so rough sometimes to where like you get this really harsh lighting, harsh shadows, midday type lighting. If you go here towards the end, these shots, oh my gosh, if you had more clips of this scene here, would be so perfect. The sequence is awesome. I think the sequence, the sound design, and the clips that you had in here was perfect. Execution on that was amazing. The second hype sequence was perfect. This shot right here, where you pan from the right to the left, oh my, this was perfect. This is not easy to execute. Obviously, you can crop it in, but that was really well done. I like this B-roll shot here with the car in the foreground. That was excellent. I think mostly it's just the color grading on this. I understand how hard it can be color grading this stuff, but this was awesome. Honestly, I would almost end it on this clip here. I would end it on this clip here. I'd let that play out for a second longer, end it right there. I would use these clips more towards the beginning. But I see you're building up the story, the sequence, the vibe, the area, so I get it. All it needs is the color grading and just a couple sync fixes, and it's pretty much up there. I'm going to put that in A tier. Great job, Chris. Next, we have NK Auto Media. Planes and supercars. Let's see it. This video was awesome. First of all, I think the song choice was perfect. Perfect song choice for this aesthetic, for the coloring, for the vibe. It gives that high energy feel, that high luxury feel too. These splits, I'm not too big of a fan of these splits because I think these shots alone would be so strong. Like if you just have this full screen, it'd be a lot stronger that way. Just because the split kind of feels a little off. This shot was dope. This might be the perfect intro shot. In the sake of content creation and virality and whatnot, if this was the intro shot, that'd be amazing. Overall, I think the color grading on this is perfect. I think it gives that mood. It gives that high production feeling, especially the speed ramps. Maybe even tone the speed ramps down just a little bit. Like this one was a lot of movement. I get it because you're trying to go through the full clip, but even just a little bit less would probably be perfect. Yeah, I think just the split screen stuff, if we took this out and kept the momentum a little bit, would be a lot better for this type of video. Maybe get a couple shifting shots here and there would be perfect. Other than that, once again, I think this is perfect. I don't think there's many things to change besides the split screen. I like the color grading. I like everything about it. For my personal preference, for what I like in today's age, I'd give this into S tier. Next, we have Fresh Visuals Media.
Niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? Nigga be smiling in your face.
Back in the building, so crack in the living room, niggas toe tag, so gats for a living, do rag, keep a red and blue flag in the dinner. When you be with me, the one to shoot at you in a minute. Come to Harlem if you never seen Baghdad. First place seen a nigga sell crack at. Real hustlers don't sleep, take cat nap, shawty with the shawty limping.
Awesome video, brother. There's lots of tips here that I can help you with. First of all, when it comes to shooting, you're doing great on all levels. You almost have a little bit of experience in every single field, effects, flow, and shooting, but there's some improvements that can be made for sure. So first off, in this opening clip, it's not strong. Opening clip, I'd prefer you have the full car in show instead of just a third of it. If you look at the line, the horizontal line, it's offset. So that kind of throws it off. So if you just rotated it a little bit more, I feel like it'd feel better. The text, I get what you're trying to do with the A$AP Rocky vibe. I would change the text to a different style. You did good on the first transition for sure. I like the flow of it. Here into here, that was very clean. Good job on that. Blue flag, once again, different text, probably better. Or even a different effect. Lots of rotation here. You have to keep in mind the rotations. Okay, you rotate it again, that's good. Having the rotations and then having leveled shots can be a little confusing sometimes for the user, but that's okay. Just work on your shot styling and your movement. Instead of just keeping it sideways the whole time, try getting some rotation into it. That would help a lot. Here, you can see the dullness of the content aware fill. So there's a trick you can do with content aware fill, and you can actually put it into Photoshop. I believe I have a tutorial on that, so you should probably go watch that. But basically, you want to put it into Photoshop it, and then put it back into After Effects, and then do the content aware fill. It will come out a lot better and get rid of that dullness you see right there, that circle. that would help. Once you have that logo back in, you want to remove that fill layer, or else you're going to get edging like that. Because if you see here, right before it transitions out, you can see the fill is still on there and it blends a little bit differently. This is cool. The blinkers, a little hard when speed ramping to get them to sync, and a little bit of frame blending distortion here. Not sure what kind of speed ramping you're doing. If it's Twixtor, timer map, you get a little distortion there. I can see you have topaz on here. I don't like to assume, but I kind of can see when there's topaz. The background's in focus. Everything's very soft, which is fine. This is okay. Once again, work on all your avenues. I would start with work on your filming, and then work on your flow, and then work on your effects. That's how I would do it. Based on what I'm seeing right now, that would help you improve a lot more. As I said, once you make those changes, you can definitely get a higher ranking for sure, and you can easily improve once you start putting focus into each section and improving over time. So for now, I'm gonna put you into C tier. I would love to see how much better you get over the next couple months. Practice your filming. I promise you that will help a lot more. Work on your angles, work on your composing. The effects will come later and it'll come naturally. Don't force them. Next, we have Landon. Awesome. I think you're almost there. I think the clips are good. I think you just need to practice the flow. So I love the edit. I love that you were inspired by one of the edits I made. I actually taught that lesson on the editing experience. You can see here where I teach my members. The biggest part of using this song and this type of style that you're going for, it needs lots of movement and it needs consistent movement. So if you go in here, besides the transitions, there's lots of panning cropping. So you can see how many keyframes and how many position movements and rotations and blurs are in here. That's what helps emphasize the video and keeps that flow going. So for example, this first scene here, you could have zoomed it in. So you would have done all this, you would compose this into one section, pre-comp it, and then you would just add a scale onto that and have it smoothly zoom out. So you get more movement, or zoom in, because in this case it's moving in on the clip. It might be a little tricky because you're already out of room here, but that's okay. I think the clip to clip sequence is good. I think less motion tile would be better. So just crop it in. You just got to do what you got to do. Crop it in, remove the motion tile. It distorts the eye a little too much. The shake is cool. I think it's a little too aggressive, so I would just turn it down. Whatever you're doing for the shake, turn it down just a little bit. I like the flow of these clips here. The flow of this is perfect. The movements, the scene, the color grades is even better here. A little orange here, but the movement is good here. And then over here you lose me a little bit with these aggressive shakes. That's okay. Don't rely on shakes all the time for aggression. It's supposed to be there to just blend and be subtle in the actual effect. Instead of the flicker shake that you use here, I would just keep it clean, add in a zoom, soft speed ramp maybe, and I would just say work on getting more angles of the car in a similar movement. Just like how you have these clips right here, these 3 clips that go left to right with FPV movement. That is perfect. That was cool. See, these are all perfect. Besides this one, hold on. So like for this clip, for example, you're going right to left, and then the next clip goes left to right. Just reverse one of the clips and just have the flow better, or have a reverse at the end. That works too. But overall, I think you just need more shots, get more clips, more similar flow movements, especially when you want to do this type of style. You need a lot of the same movement. Left to right, left to right, left to right. Rotation, rotation out, rotation out, rotation in. You just have to stack up on all those, if that makes sense. Think of the editing while you're filming it, because if you're going to do a crazy edit like this, you have to have similar movements with all your shots. It makes your life so much easier and gives the flow of the actual video. Good job, Landon. I would definitely put this in C tier. I think if you work on the movements of the camera, the clips, less shakes, sometimes less is more. Just keep that in mind. All right, we got 2 more. We have Snorlax. Is that how you say it? Sorry if I messed it up. Pacing, stabilization, color grading, and sound design. Overall thoughts and improvement. Let's see it. Oh. That's a very clean video. This video specifically relied mostly on the shots, and you did a great job. I think the flow is good. I think the color grading is the only place of improvement. You can see here it gets a little purple. You can either mask it or just blend your reds a little bit more because it's getting pink. But overall, I know this color grading style is very popular. Once again, I don't know if you're using topaz, because when I see the backgrounds in focus like this, It throws me off just a little bit just because you can kind of tell. I think the scene is dope. I think everything's dope. You're very low on the camera. One thing I like to try to do is not show underneath the car unless the car is very low itself. If the car isn't that low, don't get too low. But then again, it gives you a cool little scene. Shots are cool for sure. I think what would really amp this up too is if the car was moving a little bit. That'd be dope while doing this. The shot sequence, good. Yeah, overall, very clean edit. I like this effect here where it loops back in. I thought that was dope. Overall, yeah, clean video. Nothing to hate on it. I definitely put it into B tier. Just improve the color grading and maybe just give it a little bit more. All right, lastly, we have GTR audio. There are hidden lyrics in the video. Oh boy, awesome. That was perfect. And you've been getting better and better ever since. I think this was great. I like these effects. The flow is great. The sound design is great. I don't see the hidden text. I wonder how hidden this hidden text is. This is a good effect right here. I like the blurs and the zoom ins. The pan and cropping is very good. The flames came out perfect. This was cool. I like that. Overall, you executed this perfectly. I don't have much to say besides where's the hidden text. Oh, see, that's what I was talking about. Remember earlier in the video, I was talking about make sure you do it through the window when you do effects. He did it right here. Oops. He did that effect right here on the explosion. Nope. Nope. Right here. So you see how he went through the window as well? I would just perfect that mask. You can shift the edge if it was rotor brush. Shift the edge just a little bit to expand it out, and that would be perfect. Clean. You don't want to show these little inconsistencies because it stands out too much, and it makes the glass look like there's nothing here. So you just change the opacity of it, like dim it down just a little bit. But yeah, other than that, great video. Honestly, GTR, I think that's one of your best videos. You've been posting a lot of good videos recently too, so good job. I'm going to put that into S tier as well. Here's the rankings. Thank you to everyone that submitted your entries. Once again, link in the description if you want me to review your edits. Just giving my input where I can and helping you guys out as much as I can. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow for more videos. If you're trying to learn how to edit in Adobe After Effects, this will save you weeks, months, years of trying to learn. If you got tabs open, you got tutorials everywhere, but you still don't know how to make an edit from start to finish on your own. That's exactly why I built this course, to teach editing the right way, with real projects, updated methods, and step-by-step guidance that actually makes sense. I've been teaching Adobe After Effects for over 3 years now, and I personally help my students with editing, troubleshooting, guidance in any field that they need help with. In addition to my private Discord server where you can talk to other members that have gone through the same exact things that you're going through. Over 600 editors have gone through this course and most of them had zero experience. Now, they don't even need tutorials. If you're ready to learn Adobe After Effects, set the trends, and become an established editor, hit the link now and get started, because 600 editors are already ahead of you.